Hey, this is Troy Taylor with the Championship Football Coaches Clinic, sponsored by Rack Coach, Tip of the Spear, the Top Hopper. Use the code TOPHOP, save 5%, and Sports Workbook. Everybody that comes on the clinic gets a free sports workbook from my friends. Coach Charlie Coynier, I'm so happy to have you on here. I met you at the AFCA convention when I snuck into the exhibit hall and was going around begging people to talk on this podcast. And you gave me a call yesterday as I was leaving UNC. Clyde Christensen, Tom Brady's coach, is talking to me on the sidelines. And I looked like I was homeless when I was down there in Charlotte. I went up to Coach's booth, and he had a young lady. She looked like a basketball player. And I asked her, did she want to come on the podcast? And she said, well, I don't, but, Charlie would. So then you come, Coach, and you got your jeans on and everything. You sit down, you tell me you're from Virginia. Then you tell me that you coach in the NFL. And I'm like, okay, here we go. So, Coach, for the guys that are watching or will watch, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, Coach.
Yeah, Troy, I'm from the great state of Virginia, which, this is where this podcast is coming from. And first of all, thank you for having me on. And yeah, appreciate you stopping by and visiting us in Charlotte. But I'm from the mountains of West Virginia. I'm from over near Waynesboro, Stanton. I went to Riverheads High School, which,
pretty good.
Yeah, I think they lost finally this year, but came back, still won the state championship with Coach Norcross. But they, Coach Casto before that, they incredible. In fact, I think they held the national win streak before they lost this year. But they weren't. We like to think that we got it going back when I was, there, and not because of me, but some of the other players that attended there. My high school coach, Tony DeMacio, who went on to become a scout for the Atlanta Braves and signed a bunch of those players that won a lot of World Series. But he was there, and he influenced my life. It'd be hard to put a number on it. I mean, it's changed everything. But that's where I'm from, with the Riverheads High School. From there, I ended up going to college. I was a better baseball player than football player in high school. Not to say that I was any good at either one of them, but I was good enough to play baseball at Catawba College, and probably could have played football, but did not. Tried to focus on baseball, which a lot of people don't. They make that mistake. Looking back on it, I wish I'd have played, but I played the baseball at Catawba, and then I went to grad school at Appalachian State, and was realized I kind of made a mistake. I'm like, my passion is not baseball. My passion is football. And it kind of always had been. And that was instilled in me with Coach DeMacio and my father and some other people. But I got to Appalachian State and was there as a grad student, had a scholarship and all that good stuff. But they hired a guy named Mack Brown. And he was a young Mack Brown, 30 years old. And I walked into his office, got enough courage to walk into his office one day and just said, Coach, I want to coach. And he looked at me pretty quickly and said, well, you understand we would not be able to pay you. And I understood that too. So long story short is I started working there, did a whole lot of babysitting, car washing, going to get lunch, whatever I could do to stay in the building. Didn't know anything about football, to be perfectly honest. Just knew that I wanted to work hard and, check study hall, that type of thing, whatever it took. And, that's kind of what, unfortunately, is hard to do today, is get in the building. But, that's job number one. If you want to get into college coaching or the NFL, you got to get in the building first, and then you just pretty much not leave. Because if you leave, they might lock the door behind you and not let you back in. And so that's kind of how it all started at Appalachian with Coach Brown. Coach Brown left after 1 year and went to Oklahoma to be the offensive coordinator for Barry Switzer and Sparky Woods, who you probably saw on your trip to North Carolina yesterday as well.
Yes, sir.
Took over, and I stayed there for, I guess, probably 3 more years. Graduated, got my master's, and then met a coach there that also influenced my life a lot. We all have fathers in coaching. John Palermo, and he went to Minnesota to work for Lou Holtz, and then a couple years later called me and asked me if I'd be interested in going to Minnesota, and I had to look it up on the map because I'd probably never been north of Ohio, and so went up there in 1987, and after that just kind of Troy got on the the roller coaster of in the Ferris wheel of coaching. One thing led to another, and I got eat up with it. I was just in love with being a coach and enjoyed it. And so I could keep going, but
yeah. But I remember Lou Holtz used to say, that Minnesota was blue every time he looked at the USA Today, and everybody had blonde hair and blue ears. And man, I'm a Lou Holtz fan. I mean, I love Notre Dame when Lou Holtz was the coach, and I used to have the videotapes they used to sell for $500, and I think one of them's even bootlegged, and it's like, it's messed up. Like, it doesn't look perfect. Like, do right, do what's right, do your best, treat people how you want to be treated.
Yep.
So I'm a huge Lou Holtz fan. So you actually went to Minnesota and coached for Lou Holtz?
Did not. Hold on, I was going to stop here for a second. So Coach Palermo went there with Coach Holtz, and Coach Holtz did the same thing Coach Brown did. He took off and left to go to Notre Dame. Coach Palermo was there. A guy named John Gutekunst, who's also got North Carolina roots, was the head coach. So I went there for 1 year. Coach Palermo subsequently left and went to Notre Dame when they won the national championship. So I've never worked for Coach Holtz. I've worked for so many people that have. I feel like I have. But so I was there in Minnesota for 1 year. It was back when you could have a volunteer coach and all of that. After that, I got my first, full-time job where they actually paid me at Austin Peay State. And so that was I was there for 3 years. Austin Peay State wasn't quite the, they weren't quite the same thing they are now. They're a good football program now. They were struggling back in those days, but I was there for 3 years. And then, I got on the Glacier circuit as a young coach, just hauling people around. I met Frank Glacier.
Tell me about him, because he was already gone by the time I got into coaching, but I would hear stories.
Well,
Coach Rolo told me about him.
Well, ask Jim McNally when you get him on tomorrow. I think ask him. There'll be plenty of stories about blocking each other in their underwear out in the hallway at a hotel. I mean, those were the days. I was a kid and in total awe of Frank Glacier, who would come out and he literally would whistle people down, horn people down off of the stage if they weren't talking about X and O's in a matter of about 35 seconds. I saw it, but that times have changed, but that made an impression. But the thing that gave me an opportunity to do, Troy, is, and once again, I'm hoping that the reason I'm on here that maybe I can help a young coach or two.
Everybody always wants to know, how do I move up?
Well,
how do I get to the next level?
It's really hard. I will be honest with you that I can actually go back to. That's why I stopped and talked about the Glacier Clinic there. As a worker, I volunteered to go, and when they were in Nashville, because I was over in Clarksville, and I would pick coaches up at the airport and bring them in to speak and take them back to the airport. And I knew that if I did that for 25, 30 minutes, I had a hostage. He had to listen, I could listen, asking questions and hopefully impress upon them how much I cared about football. And so I did that for several years. And that actually ended up getting me my next job at Vanderbilt, because Jerry DiNardo, they had won the national championship out of Colorado with the eye bone and all that. Well, he got hired at Vanderbilt, and I had carried him to the airport back and forth, and so met him that way and got over for an interview, and got hired by he and Rick George, who's now the athletic director at Colorado. And out there with Coach Prime and all that.
Yeah, he made a
But,
splash hire.
yeah, so that was a great opportunity for me to get in the SEC. Now not a whole lot of Saturdays were fun, but we did a lot of good. Obviously, did a lot of good things there at Vanderbilt. Coach DiNardo did, and Carl Reese and some of the other coaches that he had, because they subsequently ended up going to LSU, and so the rules had changed with the NCAA. Once again, they still are. You kind of got to stay out in front of it a little bit, but I was there as a volunteer coach when I was at Vanderbilt. They got rid of that, and so I met a coach once again because I was running the clinics at Vanderbilt. A coach named Bill Thomas, who was the head coach at Tennessee State. He took the head job at Texas Southern out in Houston. So I'd met Bill, and I went and worked for Bill for a year as the offensive line coach, special teams coach at Texas Southern. And Bill Thomas was great. And that was, great experience going to Houston and all that. And then I got hired at Louisville the next year and went there with Ron Cooper. And we were there for 3 years. And I was the recruiting coordinator, tight ends coach, and tackles coach. So did that for 3 years. That didn't work out. We ended up getting fired there. So, you do what you do in coaching. Went down the road, had a friend, Rick Witt, that was working at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, introduced me to Buddy Green, and Buddy ended up hiring me as the linebackers coach. And I worked with them, and Rusty Wright, who's now the head coach at UT Chattanooga, was working with me with the outside backers. And so that was a great experience. Got a call from, Coach DiNardo after he left Vanderbilt and went to LSU. Asked me to come down there. I did that. They'd been there at that point, for 3 years or so. And they knew they had to win, or we had to win in order to keep the job, and didn't win enough there, but got fired. The whole staff got fired there. So I knew I had an opportunity at that point. Some people were talking to me at this school about going, go here, come here to coach the tight ends or coach the tackles or whatever. But they were asking for a 2-year commitment. And I knew by that point, I'd met a guy named John Shoup when I was at Vanderbilt, who had gotten in the NFL and was doing well. And he told me, he said, Charlie, when I get the chance, I'm going to get you here. Because to be perfectly honest, I'd kind of had a lot to do with him getting hired at Vanderbilt. But so I took the job. I went back to Texas Southern. This time as the offensive coordinator. One of the best experiences I had. We were 7-0. Played Grambling in a classic. It was one of the best coaching years of my career for Bill Thomas. Again, he was still there. But then I got the call from the Chicago Bears. Shoup got the offensive coordinator job there. Hired me up there as a quality control coach, working with the quarterbacks. And, we went 13-3 the first year. You think that's what you do every year in the NFL when you're your rookie season, you do that. But ended up being there with Coach Dick Duran, one of the best football coaches I've ever worked with, and just an incredible human being. Has affected my life a lot. He's been out of it now for a little bit, but he still remains a very close friend. We from that point on, we didn't lose that many games, but you don't have to lose many in the NFL from the change. So they fired that staff. I was actually out of the building. Lovie Smith and the new staff came in, and our general manager, Jerry Angelo, asked me, he said, would you come back in and for assistant special teams? I was like, well, I'd like to stay in the NFL. So I did that, went back and interviewed with Lovie, ended up getting hired as the assistant special teams coach for 2 years, and tremendous, getting to work with not only Lovie, but getting to work with Dave Tobe, who was, my direct guy I worked with, who is the special teams coach at the Kansas City Chiefs now, and been there. I mean, Dave's got, 2 Super Bowls now, and he's at one point, I'm sure he probably still is the highest paid special teams coach in the league. Learned a lot of football working for Lovie. It was great to see a different system and all that. Coach Duran got hired as the head coach at the Buffalo Bills. I wanted to get back on offense. He offered me a chance to come over there and work with the tight ends, which that's where I worked with Jim McNally and Larry Zerline and some of the guys on that staff. And we were there for 4 years. And after we got fired at that staff. At that point, I'd been 9 years of sleeping on floors and doing a lot of crazy things. So I said, if I get another job, great. But I honestly kind of needed to rest. So then I moved to Austin, Texas, just to take a year off. Had a year left on my contract, and that's where First Down Playbook was created and invented. I was at a point.
So what year was this that it was created?
2010.
Okay.
We were fired after the 2009 season, and what I said, Troy, was, I have been traveling this country, hauling 17 box full of playbooks everywhere that I go, and what happens is, you're in a meeting and the offensive coordinator looks at you, or somebody looks at you and says, well, how did you do it at LSU? How did you do it at the Bears? And so you go in your office and you look at your playbooks, your paper playbooks. You might have it, you might not. And if you didn't have it, then you go home at night and dig through the 17 boxes that you didn't even have time to unpack because once you got the job, you had to start working. And you come back the next day and say, well, this is how we did it. And maybe a great way of doing it. And the coordinator would look at you and go like, Charlie, that ship went out last night. We got to, and you understood that. So my thinking was, selfishly, what I wanted to do was have it all on a computer to where my ideas are here, like boom, boom, boom. This is how we did it at LSU. Boom, click here. My North Carolina folder's over here. Once again, that was 13 years ago, but that's like 50 years in technology years ago. So as I was there working on, not coaching for the first time in my life, really my adult life, working on that, one of my friends looked at it and said, well, you got an app there. I had no idea what an app was, but that started it. We had a passing game app to start with. One thing led to another. And in the meantime, later that year in 2010, I get a call from North Carolina. They made a coaching change mid-season that let their defensive line coach go. I won't get into who that was or anything, but they hired me to come out there and coach the defensive line for the remainder of that season. I missed the first game, but so I worked for Butch Davis.
Coach Shoup was still there?
Shoup was the offensive coordinator, but I worked on the defensive side with a guy named Everett Withers as a coordinator who I also go back to Appalachian State. So I knew both coordinators really well. We had 13 players suspended that year, or 14 or something like that, and still ended up going to a bowl game, beating Tennessee in a classic at the Music City Bowl in the last second. So that was fun. But when that was over with, I really just kind of I thought I wanted to get back in the NFL or just go back and work on this thing. So I went back to Austin, started working on the playbook thing. A company is a little bit different than a football team. A football team, you grow and you mature and you plan and you understand that year 2 might be different than year 3. With companies, you end up pivoting. You look at, all right, this is what we thought it was going to be, but our customers are saying this is really what it needs to be. So, we got to a lot of things were coming up. We needed to help the youth coaches. They were the ones like, we love this passing game app you've got, but we need help as youth coaches. Then the special teams coaches got involved in it. So at some point, it occurred to me that we're never going to make everybody happy unless we try to make everybody happy. And so that's when we evolved away from the app thing, which is a little bit ironic because we're working on our new application now for First Down Playbook as we know it. But we went to a web-based product, the best thing we ever did, because it just gave us the ability to not only get to more coaches, rather flag, youth, special teams, NFL, everybody, but it also, the website gave me the ability, and me initially, but us eventually, to have our hands on it daily and add more content, keep adding content.
So rather than a disc. Like where you download it and it's a disc, and then that's the
No,
version.
we
I mean,
were.
yeah, y'all were solely web based, so that was thrown out the window.
Yeah, we had the cloud, our deal in the cloud, and we would put it there. It's not changed. That part's not changed that much than what we do today. But it was just the beginning of how are we going to approach this? And so, uh, what's the old saying that necessity is the mother of invention. You start listening to what coaches need. And we've taken great pride of that. We still, it's our mantra today. We say we're coach driven because I coached in the NFL for 9 years. I coached for 30 years, but the 12 years I've been out of it, or the 9, whatever, I ended up going back to Tennessee for one more go round, have taught me that coaching is a very different experience if you're coaching at the Rams than if you're coaching down the street at the high school, or if you're coaching a Pop Warner League, or if you're coaching the championship NAIA women's flag team. They're all very, there are some similarities, but they're very different in what the needs are. And so I've had to learn that. I see coaches that come out of the NFL now and come out of major college coaching, and they're trying to force that system, that workflow on people that that's just not their workflow. I had to learn that. I had to spend weeks with high school coaches and watch how they worked, and watch like, oh, you're going to class now. You got like you're going to be teaching here, and then you'll come out, and then the kids, well, some of the kids will be here. They can't be, so we all deal with different issues. And so that's what we've tried hard with First Down Playbook to do, is to create a coaching tool that allows wherever you are, right, to mold it to what you need, and also do it at a price that's affordable. Because, sometimes a lot of technology out there, a lot, there's some good, there's a lot of bad. And even some of the good is so expensive that you wonder, like, is it worth it? Is it worth this if we can't buy helmets next year? That kind of thing. So, but that's kind of how this bought me. Like I said, I went to Tennessee in 2012, worked there for 1 year, and then after that year, I was like, you know what? The only way that this company is ever going to be what I envision it to be, and the only way that we're going to be able to really help coaches is if I get focused myself. You can't, and I know guys are trying to do it. And some
jack of all trade, master of none.
You can't coach for
spread too thin.
You can't coach for the Chicago Bears and be focused on your company. You're cheating somebody. So it's just the way it is. But it was weird. I'll get into that part of it. It was weird not coaching and actually looking in the mirror and go, hey, dude, you're retired. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, coaching retires you. You don't retire from coaching. And it was strange that, not to be in the mix, the next fall and all that kind of thing. But this is a new passion. This is, like I said, I owe everything to football coaching. I owe everything to the game of football. That's why what we're trying to do with First Down Playbook is give back. But I'm not going back to coaching.
We got a coaching question here. Wyatt Bode. Wyatt he watches every single podcast, Coach, and he asks questions. All right. Don't ask if not applicable, but how does Coach steal second base? The mechanics, how you get a good jump. Don't ask if not talking about mechanics and techniques, just curious. Is this a baseball question?
I think that Coach Bode is going back to my high school day that I played baseball, not football. I'll say this: my days, I've never coached it. Well, I've coached some baseball, but I can't answer that. I don't know. I would say the crossover step. I watch TV. The crossover step is a new deal, right? Or maybe that's the old deal. Be fast.
Yeah.
If it, Coach
Richie
Boone,
Henderson.
if you got a football question, I'd be glad to jump all over it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I thought he was going to talk about the jump set because Coach McNally, whenever I go to these colleges, he wants to know what they're teaching, and then he wants to know who the offensive line coach is, and then I know the answer. I don't know him, never heard of him, Troy. I mean, that's that. Oh, I know him. Yeah, I mentored him, but
Jim is quite the godfather of offensive line coaches. So I promise you that he may not know them, but they know him. Put it that way.
They know him. I mean, when did you find out that Coach McNally was on Twitter? I mean, because when I met you, Coach McNally had not made it to Twitter yet. When did you find out? Did the MC Hammer song dance? Did that get to you?
Troy, I think that was the second video I saw. The first one I saw him doing like about 9 chin-ups, which is incredible for what is Jim now? Is he 80?
He's close to 80. I think he'll be 80 in August.
Yeah. So he did 9 chin-ups, which is about 8 more than me. And so that's the first thing I saw him do. And then I did see Jim shaking his butt into the camera on Twitter a little bit after that, I believe.
And did you know that I was the person that got him on there? Did you put 2 and 2 together?
I did not know that, and the world owes you in several ways.
Man, I mean, I just texted him one night. I must have had his number from a clinic. You know, he gives everybody his number, and then the next day I had him on this thing, and he goes, "What is this? Is this Zoom?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like Zoom, but better. It's StreamYard, coach." He was like, "What is it?" I said, "It's a podcast." He goes, "Can I have a podcast?" And I was like, "Coach, you should have had a podcast." He was like, "Well, how is anyone going to know that I'm going to be on your podcast?" And I said, "Well, are you on Twitter?" So then I got him hooked up on Twitter, coach. Yeah. So, yeah, the world will never be the same. So Wyatt's came back with a question here. McNally heel-it technique pertaining to picking up the lead foot. Hey, Wyatt, how about this? Because, Wyatt, you're one of the most loyal supporters we have. Why don't you be the first person to call in, Wyatt? 804-905-8585. Coach, did you ever listen to talk radio? Like, my dad was big into talk radio and sports radio and people calling up. I guess you were coaching during that time.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Right now, I listen to a lot of talk radio, but it might not be sports, a lot of sports related.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. When I was coaching, there were just big gaps of everything in my life that, like one of them might be I never got married. I mean, from standpoint of who would marry some guy that sleeps at the office 3 or 4 times. And I know you're not supposed to do that. And
I mean, you don't make it to where you made it, coach, if you don't sleep there.
That's not the only way you can make it. I'll say this. That might be the only way that I would have got started. But
yeah.
The thing about it is that you just really do get so consumed with it. But it was a good consumption. It was take some time off in the summer, get refreshed, go play a little golf, drink a beer or two or whatever you do to get, out of it. But when you come back, come back, really, it's not a job. It's kind of like a journey. Every season is like a journey. And you hope that it's a long, happier one than it is sad, but they're all very different.
Man, no doubt, coach. And I mean, I think I assume this is Wyatt that's called, coach. I don't know. We're gonna find out real quick.
Okay.
If it's not, I'm gonna cut him off. I mean, I guess there's a 2-second delay on this thing. Hopefully it's somebody not offer me a $5,000 line of credit.
It might be Jim McNally.
It might be. And coach, I'll put him on FaceTime if it is, coach. And he will embarrass me. He will embarrass me. He will tell me to show you a picture of my girlfriend. And, this guy can recruit,
3, 2,
Coach Bald.
Coach Bald.
This is our first call in right here, Coach.
All right.
Now press 2.
Hello, is this Coach Bald?
Yes, sir. How we doing today, guys?
Yeah, Coach Bald is our first call in participant. Yeah, hey, Coach Bald. Charlie is from where we're from, Virginia.
Ooh, that is amazing. That is amazing. I was love listening to you talk about him and everything. And man, I wanted to ask a few questions, just what it was like, having that team that had Mack Brown in the secondary, you had Urlacher, linebacker, Lance Briggs.
You followed us closely, no doubt.
Yeah, so stay on there, Coach Bald, and let Coach talk about that.
Yeah, that we went 13-3 that 2001 season. We were, it was one of those deals where when I went there, they told me, they said, we might not make it after this year. I'm like, well, if I make it this 1 year, at least I'll coach in the NFL 1 year. But that defense was incredible, and the staff was good. But yeah, you had Urlacher, and you had Briggs, you had Roosevelt Colvin, you had we had Big Man Washington in there, we had Mack Brown. So if it sounds like, Coach, if you know those names, you know that we beat the 49ers and we beat the Cleveland Browns on last second plays. And I think Mack Brown was involved in both of those, if I remember right.
And Coach Bald, you're also a big Buffalo Bills fan, and coach for the Bills.
Huge Bills fan. I'm definitely a huge Bills fan. Y'all also had a pretty good return guy, if I don't correct me if I'm wrong. Probably one of the best in the NFL.
Devin Hester. He's one of the best ever to play in pro football. I think he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He played both ways, the Miami Hurricanes. Coach, did you coach Devin Hester? How does that work? Is that another one of those, like Paul Boudreau told me, good job, Anthony, good job, Barry Sanders, good job, Devin Hester? There's only so many times you can say good job.
I'll say this. I'm going to give, like, I left and went to, this is how smart I am. And Lovey told me when I left, he said, we're going to go to the Super Bowl next year. And I said, yeah, but I wanted to get back on offense once again. But Hester came in after I left, but Hester would have never probably been on the roster had it not been for Dave Tobe, the guy I work with. Dave Tobe, I'm sure he's still the same way. He's an excellent coach, X and O's and schemes, and very detailed. I mean,
and he's the special teams coordinator for the Chiefs now.
Yeah.
So he had the big return against the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, he's had.
Did he know? Did he know that the Eagles punt team has like 9 guys between the numbers and the hash in the NFL? I was just wondering that, because was that set up?
Yeah, I'll promise you that if it was on tape, Dave knew it. But the point I want to make is that Hester came in to the Bears, but he can't. Dave did a tremendous job of evaluating all of the college players coming out. Think about this for a second. If you're the linebacker coach, they give you, the scouting department will give you 30 to 50, maybe 70 to 80 linebackers to evaluate. And so, but you could take all those positions and put them together. If you're doing that for special teams, you got to go do all of them. All of them. I mean, every player, maybe not the quarterbacks, but every player out there that, if you want to have input in the meetings about, it gets down like, all right, we're here to take this player first round, this player second round. When he gets down to round 5, 6, as it gets to free agency and all that, they're going to ask the special team coaches advice. And so Dave was always just so detailed about, we would watch tape on them and we would go through check, plus, minus, and you would be blurry-eyed. Now, I go back to, that's how Devin Hester gets on that football team, is that Devin Hester was not Devin Hester. He was good, don't get me wrong. But
he was a guy that they didn't know where to play him. I mean, he played offense and defense.
Go back to, that's the same thing that happens in at Kansas City with my man at the Dolphins now.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill was, he wasn't winning any favors as far as character things coming out of college.
No, he went to quite a few different colleges for various different reasons.
I mean, Dave stands on the table to get him there as what for? He was a special teams guy first, and then they got him to be a receiver, and obviously the rest is history. So anyway, I go back to the Chicago Bears when I was there. There's a lot to be said for the coaching, but a coach still needs to be able to evaluate people the way Dave Tope can.
Yeah. So Coach Ball, do you have anything else for Coach before you become the first caller in Championship Football Coaches Clinic podcast history?
Wow. No, thank you so much, Coach. Breaking news, A.D. Paulmore has just pulled up, so I've got to go welcome the champ back home to St. Petersburg. Keep blessing us. Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question.
A.D. Paulmore, Coach, is a kid who he's not a kid anymore, but he's like 28, and he played at Lakewood High School in St. Petersburg. He played with the Griffin twins and with Isaiah Wynn, who plays offensive line for the Patriots. Coach Bald coached A.D. Paulmore, but now he is an undefeated MMA fighter, and he's a pro. And, Coach, he puts them to sleep. They call him the real cyborg.
Yeah,
and I can show you his last match. It lasted 38 seconds. And the guy he fought had a worse body than me. I mean, Coach McNally's telling me I need to lose weight. And my girlfriend, why are you dating this big fat football coach? But yeah, the guy he knocked out, Coach, he kicked him right in the head. 38 seconds, he's gone. We got people watching. If you have any questions for Coach, let us know. So Coach, your website, First Down Playbook. Do you mind if I pull it up and we can go over some stuff?
I would absolutely love it if you would.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. All right, there we go, Coach. You want to talk a little bit about any of this stuff that's on here?
Well, you kind of got the part, before you actually sign into it.
Okay.
I'm sure there's no way that I can do that, but long story short, what First Down Playbook does, Troy, it's a place to where we're trying to help coaches on a lot of different levels. Mm-hmm. So we started out like I talked to you about content, that coaches can use. So we've got not only proven content, meaning you've got real coaches that are putting stuff in, putting plays, defenses, special team schemes, whatever. And we've got drills in there now. We've even got clinic videos in there now. We've added to where you can actually pair videos with the plays. But we've got content to where it's like a clinic the whole year round. If you want to go in, let's say I want to find RPOs. Let's say I want to go find, the spread wing tee stuff is a big deal these days. Maybe just a good old fashioned wing tee, 3-3 stack, 4-3 over under. The way that you go into First Down Playbook is click, click, click. You can get to where you're looking at a bunch of those plays. Now, those plays are only good as much as helping you see how it's drawn up. See, we'll take a run play, draw it up against an over front, an under front. We don't just do it against one front. That's not coaching. There'll be coaching points, player assignments in there. At the point where you find something that you really like or think that it's applicable to your team, once you click on that and you hit the edit button, it's no longer a First Down Playbook play. Now it's your play. So essentially, you can go in, change a thing or two, maybe change the formation, maybe block it just a little bit differently because your left guard doesn't weigh 280, 90 pounds. Your left guard weighs 170 pounds. And so when you do that, now it gives you the ability to take control, take narrative of what you want to install as a coach for your team. And then after that, we give you the ability to create practice cards. Once again, saving you time. We give you the ability to go in and create 2-box, 4-box, 6-box, 8-box. the good old-fashioned grids that you do when you're creating paper playbooks, or if you just want to do it off of your computer. You got wristband sheets, you got practice schedules, you can create templates and stencils. So it's becoming a one-stop shop for coaches, whoever you are. We've got individual accounts, team accounts. We've got 90-day accounts. Once again, we've tried hard to listen to what coaches say they need, and that has helped us so much, because the moment that Charlie gets out there and tries to say, this is the way we did it in the NFL, this is the way we did it at LSU, Tennessee, North Carolina, the moment we do that, we're talking to probably 3 to 5% of the people out there that are going to be using us. Now, what we try to do is make sure that whatever we have is usable and functional for everybody, regardless of what. We've got NFL coaches that use it, and we've got flag football coaches that use it. But at the end of the day, we sell time. Whoever you are, if you're Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, or if you're coaching down the street at the Pop Warner or the NFL flag team, we all have one thing in common. We got 7 days a week, and we got 24 hours a day. And we all think that we've got an impossible busy schedule. And the reason we think that is because we do. None of us have enough time. And so what we try to do is make sure that our product, what we provide for a football coach, and now basketball too, we have Fast Break Playbook. Sydney, the girl you met, Charlotte, is heading up a lot of that. But what we try to do is make sure that we make the playbook part of it, the practice card part of it, installation part of it better, quicker, and easier. Not only because of that part of it. Well, let me get out of this here. Not only because of that actual aspect of it, Troy, but because when you end up spending too much time on your playbook, that takes away from the time you spend with your kids. When I say your kids, I mean either the players on your team. It could also be the player, your kids at home, your wife. It takes away from time that you use teaching technique. It takes away from time you spend with the kids working on their character. So all of those type of things are what we're trying to do, is to make sure that a coach is not spending all of their time on the website and actually just trying to draw plays and get ready for practice. We're trying to free people up to where they can do the other things.
So I'm on here right now and I'm signing up, Coach. So I'm showing everybody that's watching, everybody that's going to watch, how easy this deal is. Yep. I'm going on here and I'm signing up for the free trial. All right.
Good.
And so, Coach, pretty much you're meeting the customer where they are. Because, I had a kid who came to me. He's 23. And he was coaching the 11 and 12-year-old Pop Warner football team. Yep. And they gave him a piece of paper. And he started coming watching us practice. And we had a simple blocking rule at the beginning of the year because we couldn't block nothing. We went foot to foot, and it was go right and go left. Mm-hmm. So, we zone to the right or we zone to the left, or we gap to the right and we go gap to the left, Coach. Sure. It was very, very simple. Mm-hmm. And his sheet he had the play that Coach McNally used to run with the Bengals back in 1980. It's the front side G with the fullback leading through on a play side backer. Right. And I told the kid, I said, dude, nobody runs that. I was like, run ISO, run toss. And he was like, what? He knew nothing. And that was one of his plays. That is a very difficult play to coach. You got a front side guard kicking out on a 9 technique and a fullback leading through.
No doubt. Load this up here because this will be a good. I'm going to do it because it is very easy. We offer, what we like to say, Troy, is this: we don't like to sell people as much as we like to show them. So whoever you are out there, everybody can get a free trial. Now, I will say this. When you sign up for the free trial, if you're a high school coach, and we vet everybody, that comes through. If you're a high school coach, we go in and we look at who you are. We'll put you on like a week free trial. We want to talk to you a little bit and find out what your needs are. So blow that thing up there. Well, you got it there. So let me show you just how easy it is to find plays on First Down Playbook. Because Troy, I'll coach him up here through it. So Troy, in the upper left-hand corner, go find a play.
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you go to find a play, the thing that you'll see with First Down Playbook. All right. Just click through this. We try to coach you up. I'm gonna coach you up, so you won't need that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so there are over 35,000 plays here right now on this website. So you got to be, what are you really looking for? Now you could go to the search term, but we're gonna do it a little different. So Troy, let's go to sport. We'll get the drop down. Let's go tackle football. All right, let's go sport level. We'll go, for the sake of this, we'll go varsity. Now we break up. It gets to what you were just talking about. 12 and under. What we do is we have simpler plays for people, that are coaching at that level. 13 and above, we had to draw a line somewhere. That's more high school. So we'll go 11v11. You can see we have 12-man football, 8-man, 6-man, which they play, out in the Midwest.
So 12-man's Canada.
12-man's Canada,
okay.
Exactly. So we go offense here. Now, don't worry about coaching tools. So you notice down the bottom left here. So click on that drop down. All right, so with offense, what we do is we try, once again, picture you're going into a Dick's Sporting Goods store. All right, if you got tennis rackets over here, basketballs over here, footballs over here, you don't want to be in a tennis racket area if you're looking for a basketball. So we're trying to get you to what you want to look for. Let's go to running plays, just so you can see how detailed it is. All right, what kind of running play do you want? So we've got all the deals here. All the different play names.
Let's go power. We'll go power.
Let's go power. All coaches love the power. So now go search plays here, Troy. Now scroll up to where they can see. Now what you've got here is 144 different power plays. All right. Now we're going to sieve it, down a little bit more. You got power reads. You got two-back power. You got quarterback power. And then you got these powers are drawn up against the 4-3 over, 4-3 under, a 3-3, bear, all that type of thing. So let's do this. Let's get a little more specific about it. Come back up here. Let's go to this formation.
I formation.
All right, let's go two backs in.
Yes.
All right, now go down there. Now go two back pro. Two back pro. All right, now search plays. Okay, now scroll back down now. Let's see what we got. All right, so you got 15 plays there. So open up that first one right there. Just click on it. Now, here's the deal. You're looking at a play drawn up by NFL coaches. All right, this play right here is against a 4-3 under where you got a shade 5-9 to the strong side and a 3 to the weak. Now here's what we do. All right, scroll up a little bit, Troy, if you will. I know I'm coaching you up hard here, but where I can see the top a little bit more. Now, you see that thing where it says play variation, right? Kind of where you click on that drop down. Here's where we're different at First Down Playbook. And I want to make a big point about this. And please, be patient with me here. There's a lot of stuff on Twitter. There's a lot of stuff on social media. But anybody can grow into social media and draw the perfect play up against the perfect defense. I'm here to tell you right now, Troy, you're a coach. It don't work that way on Friday night. When you line up against the best team from Virginia Beach, they coach too. So there's going to be there's going to be a deal here where you can go in and put the right. Hold on a second. I got to get out of this if I can. I apologize. I'm trying to find out how to get out of it. There's a call coming into our business. But anyway, so you can pick whatever front.
I put the bear front. I put the bear front up there.
Right now, this is for a couple reasons. I want everybody to understand this. Not every play is good against every defense. But what we try to do is even show you that. Like, hey, take a look at this. if you're looking, we're trying to tell you right there, if you're going to run this power play, and what we're going to do is we're going to influence the strong safety there, kick out with the F, all right, and you're going to have an unblocked wheel, and that might be okay. You might want to boot your quarterback out of it. Now go to where it says Show Notes, Troy, in the upper left-hand corner. Click on that. So we've got coaching points, player assignments in there. Scroll down, you can see. So what we've done here is we're trying to help. We're trying to help you from the starting point, give you a basis, of what we do here. Now, you look at the top there. You can flip that play. Click on that flip button. You can run that play to the left or the right. All right, and once again, you can download it and all that. But here's the secret sauce. This is what. First of all, nobody gives you 35,000 plays drawn by NFL coaches. All right. And I want to make a point that our flag plays, obviously, and our youth plays are not drawn to the NFL level. They're drawn by NFL coaches, but they're drawn for an 8, 9, 10-year-old. All right. Now, at the moment, Troy, you click that edit button right at the very top of the play. At the moment you click on this button here, this is no longer a first down playbook play. This is now, all right, this is now a Troy Taylor play. Okay. This is now an LC Bird play. And so that little pencil up there beside the name of the play, you click on that and you name it whatever you want to.
Yeah, 26 power. I think that's what
double,
we call it.
Double click on it and just type that in. All right, now you save that. Right. Now, here's the other thing. Go down to your play now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you might have to back out and come back in, but try to grab that free safety if you can. Move that free safety wherever you want. Change that. Take that.
We can cover 0.
Yeah, take that that line from the F right there and grab it, and then just move it. So whatever you're going to do with this play, all right. And this is the best drawing tool out there. It's not close. I mean,
I'm sold.
This is better than what the NFL uses. It's better than anybody that has anything out there because we've spent years developing it. So once I save this play now, go ahead and save it, Troy, in the upper left-hand corner. Right there, yep. Now this is saved into your playbook library. All right, so on the left-hand side there, expand that toolbar on the left-hand side over there, or just scroll over it. You'll see one of them will say Play Library. Go, all the way over to the left.
Yeah, team playbooks, create a play, template, practice schedules, practice scripts, text wristband.
Go up. I think you got to go up a little bit. Yeah.
Go up.
There you go. Yeah. Keep coming down. Play Library right there. All right, so this is a demo account, so everybody's stuck. Click through this. Just go ahead and click through it. All right, so you can see where other people are in here working too. Now, if you're a high school coach, you take a week trial, it'll be just you. We give you a special account. But you can see now that play now lives in here, right? All right, so anytime that you edit a play or create a play from scratch, that's where it's going to live. All right, so obviously that if you did that over and over again, defense, special teams, and all the different things, it's going to get too crowded to work in here. So the team playbook thing, click on team playbooks. You can go in and create your practice cards and your team playbooks and everything right in here. So click out of this, and you can see that we coach you up, going through the whole deal here. So open up that 7-on-7 card deal there. Just click on it. Yeah, open it up. And you can see where there's some populated. Click on, just click out of that. Open up one of those folders. Open up doubles. All right, we're going to add a play in here, even though it's not a 7-on-7. You see those 3 dots out beside doubles? Yeah. All the way to the right. Click on those 3 dots. All right. And what we're going to do is, let's see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I think you see the add plays right beside that?
Yeah.
Click on add plays.
All
So
right.
here you can add plays into this playbook. You can add, see the upper left-hand side, you can add out of your play library or our play library. So let's just click on select that play, click out of this, select that play, the one you just did.
Which one, Coach?
Yeah, go back to that screen you were just on, go click on add plays.
All right.
Now you see at the bottom of the play that you edited, it says select the play. Keep
Right
going
here?
to the bottom. Yeah, go to the bottom of it. Select that play. No, not. It says select play at the bottom of it. See it? Select this play.
Yeah, right.
No.
Which screen? The current browser? This content browser one?
No. You see where your play says 26 power?
Yes, sir.
Right below where it says
Select
select,
display.
right there.
Got it.
Now add that play to your playbook.
All right.
All right. Now go back and look at that playbook. So you're creating your practice cards. Just go to your playbook again. Open
Team
it up.
playbooks.
Yep. And then open that 7-on-7 cards again. And that play is going to be in there. So scroll down. Well, it should have
Yeah,
been.
I think it said something about me being on a demo account, Coach. It probably doesn't.
That may be it. You may have to create your own play. But anyway,
Coach, I'm sold. I'm
Right.
sold. I mean,
well,
I remember all these other people used to have these play drawing things, and I mean, I even think Huddle has one, but it's no way that it is as easy as this. I mean, this is already done for you, and you just drag the line. I mean,
it is, and you can draw. Now, click on that video library if you want. Click on your play library again. I guess would be the best one. Click on that. Now scroll. I'm going to show you an example of what you can do now with you don't even you can take your Huddle clips and download them in here. You see that play right there? It's got the camera on it. Click on that one right there. It's got the purple and the yellow right in the middle.
Right here.
Click on that. All right, so you can add your clips in there now. So you got a clip. We got it blown up for the offensive line coach, right? So you see that camera, show video at the top left. Click on that. All right, so now, all right, you can look at the play and you can click on that. Let's look at
Yeah. So your players can see it done the way it's supposed to look.
That's right. I mean, you're watching, and you can download your own clips, but you can, you've got the play, and then you can click on the show notes. You can put whatever notes you want in the upper left-hand corner. Your notes can be in here. So when you're having an install meeting, it's all in one place, and you can see at the bottom. I'm not going to, belabor this anymore. I think that's why we have a free demo. Anybody can come in here and take a look at it. And once again, if you're a high school coach, you can get a week's free trial on this, and you can do some of the things that you can't necessarily do here. Nothing against our flag coaches, our youth coaches, but when you're a high school coach or you're a college coach or an NFL coach, it's your profession. So we give you more time to come. It's a serious decision about what how you're going to teach. So we give them a little bit more time in here. If you're coach in youth football, we'll give you 2 1-hour sessions in here. But if you call us up and you talk to us, we'll give you more time on it if you want to look at it. That's the end. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But we do want to verify that you are actually a coach. Well, there's a lot of intellectual property in here as well. But you got text wristband sheets, practice schedules. You can create stencils.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of people. They spend a lot of time making these, and you already make it for them.
That's right. Once again, not only do we do this to help you with, obviously, we think that coaching is teaching, and the better diagrams that you have, we think it's important to use color and things like that. If you're going to, if you're going to get to the Gen Z generation, you better grab them where they live, and that's on their phone, and that's with color and things like that, with video. So that's what we've done here, but it doesn't end there. This, the thing about it is a team account for First Down Playbook costs $700, right, for the whole year. An individual account costs $200 for the whole year. And you go, okay, nobody's gonna look at $700 and go like, that's nothing. $700 is $700. But when you start talking about putting your head coach, your entire staff, every player on your team, all of your feeder programs, and that's, with the video and everything, that comes, at no extra charge. What you're doing there is you're creating an environment that's going to help you retain coaches. Because I had a coach here in Knoxville, where I live, when I did spend time with them that week, who told me, he said, I lose more coaches to wives than I lose to other jobs every year. And the reason and it's not their fault. The reason I lose them to the wives is that they are up here too late at night doing stuff, and they're not raising their own kids. So it's really easy to say, hey, I saw where, Coach Prime said the other day, my coaches are going to be out of there at 5:00. They might be, but if they're going to be out at 5:00, you better have good technology. You better be organized about what you're doing, or they ain't going to be out of there at 5:00.
They got to open up with Texas Christian.
Yeah.
And their coaches ain't out of there at 5:00.
So, but regardless of who you are and what your philosophy is,
yeah,
this allows you to. You don't need to be there at midnight. If you've got kids, young kids, and you're coaching, you need to be home for your own kids too. You need to be able to get home in time to tuck them in as they go to sleep. And so you need to have something that helps you work from home, maybe. So that's what this is all about. It's to help you be a better teacher. It's to help you be good at the other things that, Troy, I'm not going to tell you anything. You in a day, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a father, you're a disciplinarian, you're a fundraiser, if you're a high school football coach, you're 10 things every day. And this just, for you to be spending time on playbooks and cards and things like that, or to make sure that, it's crazy. It takes away from the things that you need to do to be a good high school coach.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sold. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the coaches that are going to watch or are watching, Coach? But I'd like to stay on here and talk to you after we end the broadcast. But is there anything that you can think of? Like I have y'all's website, firstdownplaybook.com, right, Coach?
It is. We're not hard. Just Google First Down Playbook. We've been out there now 11 years. We're not hard to find. Now, the thing I'll say is this, is that once again, we say we are coach driven, and it's not just a saying. We have coaches that help create this. We listen to coaches about how to improve this, and coaches' input matters a lot. The other part about the coach driven is that when you can ask around, you can ask coaches that are using First Down Playbook right now. If the phone rings on a Saturday or a Sunday, you're going to get a call back, and it's going to be quick, because if you're trying to work to get ready for your opponent that's coming up that Friday, and you're trying to put everything together on Sunday, you don't need a call back Monday morning at 10. So we are very customer coach driven as well, because we understand coaches. And if you need help getting through something or understanding something, just go look at our endorsements, and you'll see. You'll have coaches that are 26. You'll have coaches that are 62 on there telling you that we do a great job working with coaches. And the reason that is true is because we are coaches. That would be the thing I'd leave you with, Troy, and everybody else on here.
It's for coaches, by coaches, just like this podcast. This isn't a media guy talking to Charlie. This is a coach talking to a coach. So your business, just like Sports Workbook. Sports Workbook is ran by high school coaches, and it's a paper and pencil book. But eventually, you want that thing on the internet where kids can look at it and they can see it. And it's just so easy. But it's for the coach who doesn't know anything. It's for the coach that has, hey, I need to look at, the wing tee, or hey, we're playing a wing T team.
That's right.
Well, how do they block guard trap? I mean, there you go. You got it. How they block buck sweep, how they block waggle. It's all on there.
Those plays can be flipped the other way too, not just horizontally. You can flip that play over. Talk about a time saver. They run the wing T. Flip that play over. There's your practice card for your scout team.
Yeah. I mean, these guys run mesh. Okay, well, is the Z, is he running? I mean, the Z's crossing, but the X, is he running a post or is he running a corner? I mean, there it is. Boom. And then there's your cards. You save a lot of time carding stuff up.
And
does y'all's thing integrate? Does y'all's thing integrate with like any type of pad or something like that they could bring on the field?
Yeah.
Or is it like just printed?
You can take first down playbook on the field right now, but the thing that's really going to help that is that's what I was doing this morning. We're working on a read-only application where you can take it for the players to have on their phone and tablets or what. So yeah, a lot of coaches take it right on the field because now the good thing about first down playbook, if you have your cards set up and you do want to print it out, it's very easy. And you could take them to the field, but if it rains or whatever, you know how that works. But at least you still have them. You just go print them back out again the next day. But if you don't even want to take cards to the field, a lot of people just take tablets to the field. There are teams, Troy, that Chad Johnson, who coaches the the Army All-American game. He's at Mission Viejo out in California. They put first down playbook up on their scoreboard. And their scout team sees the play.
That's genius.
Up on the scoreboard, and so they can get more reps that way.
That's genius.
We met.
What's the play? Look at the scoreboard. There it is.
That's what the kids do on the scout team. And he said you would be amazed at how much time we save and how quickly we now get through 15 plays, maybe in a 10-minute period or whatever that we only used to get 10 plays. We met yesterday with a coach as we're working on the app. They use drones and everything else. They won the state championship up in Minnesota. And I know, and I don't want to scare off anybody out there like we don't have drones and we don't have scoreboards and all that. But it's back to the original point. And Troy, you said it best. We meet you where you are. If you have a coaching staff and you're in Texas and you have 15 people on your staff, you have probably 5 young dudes that can take this and make you every bit as effective as an NFL team. Every bit. Because this technology is every bit as good as what they use in the NFL. And if somebody out there disagrees with that, I challenge them to come back on this podcast and we'll go toe-to-toe and I'll show you what we have to what they do. Now, if you're coaching in rural Tennessee and you've got 5 coaches on your staff, first down playbook gives you a chance to be the linebacker coach and the tackle tight end coach and the kickoff or team coach and the get the meals ready coach after the game and the shower coach. It gives you a chance to actually, you don't spend your time drawing plays. Don't spend your time, we're going to save you a ton of time to make you more efficient if you're a small staff. So that's, I think you said it best. We meet coaches where they are. And once again, that's because we are coaches.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I want to talk to you after we get done, Charlie. But man, it's awesome, to get to meet you and hear your story and then learn more about first down playbook. And, it would be nice if we could get every high school in Virginia, to be a part of this. This is a company that's owned by a Virginia guy. And we love Virginia. Allen Iverson, Bruce Smith, Alonzo Mourning, Michael Vick, Frank Beamer. We love Virginia guys stick together.
Don't forget the twin Veterono.
Huh? Yeah. The Barbers, even Russell Wilson that doesn't come home. All right. We still accept you. We still love you. All right. So Virginia guys stick together. All right. So I'll be talking to Dr. Hahn with the Virginia High School League. We need to work something out with first down playbook. So thank y'all. Thank you to our sponsors, Rack Coach, Tip of the Spear, Sports Workbook, the Top Hopper, use the code Top Hop, save 5%. They're taking over for Vertec. They're probably going to be in the NFL Combine next year. All right, so Coach, thank you for coming on. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, Troy, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. And I echo the sentiments about Virginia. Once you're a Virginia guy, you're a Virginia guy.
Amen.